Welcome to 2025, Joey. Oh my goodness, it's the new year.
It's the new year, and what is this? Is like I've gone back to school.
That's right.
Oh, first period. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, not feeling good. You're barely awake.
Yeah, I'm barely awake.
So I have set in front of Joey a piece of paper face
Yes, you
down
have.
with pen in hand, and
And
I've asked him not to look at it.
I'm titillated.
We're going to rip the Band-Aid off. I'm going to have you turn it over immediately.
Oh, it's gin. Gin 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm happy that there's only 5 columns.
That's right. We
Wow.
are drinking the top 5 gins of 2024, according to New York Times Wirecutter.
According to Jim.
According to Jim. Starring Jim Belushi.
Gin according to Jim.
According to Jim.
Okay, carry on. I'm sorry I interrupted with the according to Jim.
It was very worthwhile. Yeah, we were talking about on a recent episode that we just drink absolute trash garbage. I think your buddy Evan said that.
Yeah.
And he's absolutely right. And so I wanted to, look at some best of lists and see if the Cold Cans boys can't try their hand at... I'm not going to ask you to identify them. I'm going to have us drink 5 and then like blind taste test, essentially. It's going to be impossible for me to be blind doing it, but you're going to rank which ones you like
I'll do the
best.
blind taste test.
And then I'll tell you at the end. I didn't want the branding of them to sort of sway
Influence.
you. Yeah.
Okay. I love it. I'm going to be bad at this, but I'm excited. So 5 different gins in the rows in this table. Appearance, aroma, palate/taste. Can you distinguish? Finish, and total rating.
That's right.
Okay.
Now it's up to you to keep track of all of that.
And
on
it's
your
out
own.
of 10 bags of popcorn?
You can do 10 bags, you can do 5 bags,
Okay.
3 bags.
Well, I like the granularity of a 10 rating scale.
I like 3 bags. Then we might have a 5-way tie.
3 bags. Yeah, that's
Now
true.
do 10 bags.
10 bags of popcorn. I'll write that at the top here so I remember.
And so there's a whole article about the top 5 gins of 2024. They said they reviewed like 12 different gins or something. They were focusing on London Dry gins
Okay.
because
That's my favorite kind.
they have a uniform production process. Flavors cannot be added after it's been distilled. I think that's the main distinction between a London Dry and
I think if you're
a
making
distilled gin.
Okay, and I think if you're making like a Tom Collins or something, they always want you to use a London Dry. Like
Yeah.
a lot of these
I think
popular
it's pretty
gin
standard.
drinks.
Yeah. Martini,
Okay.
Negroni.
Okay. Let me finish this hazy IPA first.
That's a perfect palate setting. The other part of that article about the 2024 best gins, it was kind of a weird anecdote. They interviewed the lead singer of the band The Laws. Have you ever heard of The Laws? They had that song, There She Goes. Have you heard of that?
There she goes. I've heard the song. Didn't know La La's was the band.
The Laws.
The Laws. La La's? The Laws.
The Laws. The L-A apostrophe S.
Ooh.
Well, so they interviewed them for this article because
shitty band
it
name.
turns out they're an English rock band. They were active between 1982 and 1992, but they actually had a lot of experience with gin.
Okay.
Given their proximity to London, where the famous style of London Dry was invented or popularized at least. But they revealed in the article that their hits, which I mentioned, There She Goes, actually had some different lyrics in the first version of it. They originally wrote the song about a bartender at one of their favorite pubs who would let them compare all the different gins that they had available. And the band basically had a really hard time picking which one they liked the best, which we're going to do today.
Wow.
We have to decide which one.
Do I have a better palate than The Laws?
Yes, exactly.
I have better taste because I didn't make a band named The Laws. But let's see. If the whole appearance, aroma, palate, finish, and rating I can compare. Okay.
And just to wrap up that part of it, because the New York Times famously has good reporting,
The Slimes.
journalism.
Failing New York Times, yeah.
Failing New York Times has great journalism. They actually uncovered the demo version of that original song about the bartender and the comparing different gins. Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear it. It's got a really long intro.
It sure does.
It's not even halfway done.
But this is worth it because it's the original
This was the original version that the Laws made before they changed the lyrics and made a hit song out of
Oh, they had
There
different
She
lyrics.
Goes.
Okay, we'll have to check.
It was actually called something different too, as you'll hear.
Okay.
There she pours a gin.
Yeah.
I drink it and just grin, and I just can't compare the taste of all these gins.
I see.
Isn't this crazy?
It's pretty wild.
Pours. There's just so much gin.
Yeah, that one was
Blood
tough.
is getting thin, and I surely can't compare the taste of all these gins.
Wow.
So it was originally called There She
Yeah.
Pours.
There she pours all this gin. And they added a note, which I see why they went away from this version.
It just wasn't working for them, so that's why they changed it to There She Goes again.
Again, yes. But even adding the note about the thinning blood, that gin causes blood to thin.
Yes.
I thought that had almost nothing to do with their tasting
Well, I think
gin.
they were drinking so much of it that their
God.
blood was getting
Tasting
thin.
got out of hand.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you didn't find this. The New York Times published all
This was linked in the article.
This
yeah.
is linked from the article. Okay.
Takes you to a SoundCloud account where that song "There She Pours" was posted.
There she pours. Also tough. It's tough to go, there she pours.
There's a reason they changed it. Let's just say
Okay.
that there's a reason they changed it.
You know, Nick, the last few episodes, we've put very little prep in to what we're doing. Already you've uncovered unreleased material from the Laws,
Hey.
which I really liked. And there's whole blind taste testing. I thought maybe you'd have mystery labels on the bottles. You're just trying to keep
I'm going to
it
hide them from you.
I won't look.
Look away. We have to prepare once in a while. You know, we have to put our best into this show, and we're going to be a hit. Let's just
We
say
are.
that.
And I also want to tell you this. You took me through the whole thing about the Laws and doing gin tastings. And I thought, I can't even follow what he's saying, but I'll nod because maybe it's interesting. And
I could tell that you were
I started
feeling
taking
that.
pictures of like the dominoes we had before we recorded and stuff. And I did not expect you to unearth the original recording of There She Pours.
Well, I like to add a little nuance to
I think
our old relationship here. Keep the flame going once in a while, you know?
And I think it's excellent, and now I worry you've set a precedent, and I'm already intimidated that I'll have to do similar research for future episodes.
No.
It's fine.
But if there is a song out there for whatever the next
one is.
what is, you know, why not? Just
Sure.
pick it.
There's another podcast where I've heard that kind of format, but I don't know. It's not ringing a bell. Maybe
interesting.
the Bill Simmons show or something like that.
Interesting. Or Serial or something.
Yeah,
maybe.
those are the two that everyone listens to, and the Conan O'Brien show. All right.
That's right.
This is excellent unearthing of that. Good investigative journalism by you, Nick.
Well, it was New York
was
Times.
blown away by
I am
it.
a subscriber, though, so I
No,
did
but you
subsidize
found the
it.
article, so
That's true.
what I'm commending, not the New York Times, but you for reading the New
I
York
did some
Times.
web research.
And
That
the
is true.
web research you did? Unbelievable.
Okay, how's
There
the
she
aroma?
pours?
There she pours. It was because
There she pours
they spent
some
so
gin?
much time at that pub with the bartender letting them try gin, and they couldn't make up their mind on which one they liked the
And
best.
then they got afraid their blood would thin.
That's right.
All right.
And they couldn't think as well. Or
Okay.
they could think maybe better than ever.
Okay, I'm going to write for appearance clear. And
I
that's-
think
to me that's
there is a little color to it, though. If you hold it up to the light, it's like a little sort of drop of urine in there.
there is just one drop of urine.
Well, these are, the plastic cup makes it a
Fine,
little
then
hard.
I'm
I
gonna
should've
give
given
it a-
those glass cups.
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Urine drop. So I can already give you that. Aroma. Getting a lot of gin.
It's quite astringent, I would say.
Astringent.
Like that's like, oh, whoa, just open some rubbing alcohol.
I don't get that.
You don't get that at all?
No.
Wow, okay.
Maybe my senses are dulled. I'm on all sorts of weird medications. I would say the aroma is
Do you want to talk about
the
that?
aroma is ginny. I'd say to me that
Okay.
aroma is a 10 out
I'm
of 10.
getting a pattern here.
No, I'm not trying to do that. But to me, I'm not going to give something a 5. If it's meeting my expectation of gin, it's getting a 10. A good gin. That's what I'm going for.
Sure.
Here.
And what do you like in a good gin? Like, do you like,
I like a London
juniper?
Dry.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't really want a lot of botanical flourishes.
Yeah.
Weirdly, I like Hendrick's, which does have a distinct flavor.
Right.
So that's actually a weird exception to my rule, and it might be my favorite gin. But I really like Hendrick's specifically because of the way it plays with tonic. Hendrick's on its own is not my favorite gin.
Sure. Yeah, it doesn't make a great martini for sure for that same reason. Like the floral, you just wouldn't want that in a martini.
But in a gin and tonic, Hendrick's is my favorite. No, we didn't talk about it. We played pickleball last week. We're in a pickleball league, as everyone knows. Our team name is Listen to Cold Cans.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe I should say was, because as we were finishing up pickleball, I lurched for a ball. Nick's there by my side. I lurched to my right, and it sounds like a shotgun goes off in my body. I collapsed to the ground, bleeding all over. I still have little scars from bleeding on the ground here.
I saw that. I know. You really hit the...
Well, the reason
asphalt.
I hit so hard and was unable to break my fall is that my Achilles tendon exploded in my leg.
Oh, God.
Complete rupture. And I'm in a big walking boot for the foreseeable future, and I won't be back to my athletic prowess in probably 9 months. My athletic or sexual prowess will not be around for 9 more months.
Is that all? I feel for you. It sucks that happened.
It sucks, but the thing that I do have a decent tolerance for pain.
Yeah,
and it
seen
hurts.
that.
Yeah, it hurts and it's a little bit sore. But it isn't the type of injury, it can be. But the one that I had, even though it was a complete rupture, sometimes this is going to be gross. Folks, if you're driving, pull over because it's a little gross. Vomit out the window. But sometimes your tendon...
You don't have to pull over to do that.
Yeah, good point. Just make sure you expend it enough that it doesn't hit your back window.
Out there, yeah.
No, sometimes when your Achilles explodes, it folds up into your calf muscle. Very gross.
Yeah.
That requires surgery and is extremely painful. For me, it just was a clean break. It's broken, but they were close enough to each other that I avoided surgery. My collagen in my body will just gloop together, and the tendons will they'll get back together. So also means I don't have really any pain. I just think I told you this last night. At night, I feel like a tingling pain. And I think it's the little construction workers in my foot
doing their thing.
Yeah.
And I tend to think that those workers would love some gin to do their harder work. So I think
I'll give them some
this
right
episode of Cold Cans is going to heal you up quicker than ever.
Yeah, and the doctor said, make sure you're drinking plenty of gin during your healing process for the first 2 weeks. Okay. That doesn't burn. That's a clean palate. Clean.
Yeah, I like this. I should keep talking about it. I'm trying to taste it. It's like it has a lingering sweetness to me, almost like it has some sweet in there.
Yeah, that's a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
And then the finish does. It doesn't burn me. It's not cheap bad gin. I'd say the finish isn't totally smooth.
Yeah,
small burn.
I'm taking pictures with my dad pad.
Let me get
get the boot up there.
My boot up there. Small burn on the finish. I'd give the finish an 8 out of 10. I really like this one.
Wow. Nice.
So my total rating ended up being a 28.36 out of 40.
The dog's back.
Fan favorite Willow is back. 36 out of 40 for me.
Wow. Okay. Starting off strong. And now I insisted
on
on
a mic on here.
Us having a wash glass and a dump bin.
Yeah.
Because I think we really need to clear our glasses between
He did. And so he got a wash glass, which is a pint glass. And then he got a dump bin, which is a half pint glass. So there's more wash than bin.
I didn't fill the...
We're going to be overflowing the dump bin.
Oh, my God. All right. Avert your eyes, you absolute monster.
While I avert my eyes, I'll tell a joke.
Okay.
Do you want wordplay joke, Joey's jokes? Or do you want, like, kind of a little bit raunchy?
Give me the raunch.
All right. So, guys, this is apropos because I was just this is kind of the type of conversation I just had with my orthopedic surgeon.
Wow.
Guy's at a doctor. He's getting a checkup. And the doctor says, hey, I'm going to have to tell it to you like it is. I'm going to be straight with you. You're going to have to stop masturbating. And the guy's like, well, why? Like, what? How is that indicative of my overall health? And the doctor says, well, because I'm trying to give you a checkup.
Yeah.
It made you actually laugh.
When it makes you think.
Because the man's masturbating there during the checkout.
During the checkout.
Okay, so now we have the second gin.
Second gin. How's the color? That's clear.
Clear, no piss. Clear, no piss. That's a 10 out of 10. I can't argue for anything besides clear. Aroma.
I like the aroma better than this one.
I don't.
Really?
Well,
I mean, it's pretty similar to your earlier point. It smells like gin, for sure.
It smells like gin, but there's more, it's more florally. Extra pine, I'll say.
Whew. Man, when that gets up into your nose.
We're
drinking all these unchilled for what it's worth. These are just, no ice, no anything. Though at the end, I'm going to ask you, so keep this in mind as you're drinking. Which one of these would go best in a gin and tonic, in your opinion? So keep that in mind as well.
Okay. Gin and tonic, question mark? Okay. That is extra harsh, though. You get your nose in there, that's harsher. So that's docked it down to an 8 out of 10 for me for aroma.
Yeah, the taste is a little more challenging as well, along with the smell. I like it, but it's not... That other one was pretty smooth.
Oh, now see... The taste isn't the aroma. The taste is clean and... No, but that finish... Okay, so the taste I liked. Enjoyed. 10 out of 10 taste.
Wow.
But the finish burnt me. The finish burnt me, which is, I think, part of taste. So I'm saying my palate/taste is initial taste, right? Because the finish is part of the taste.
Yeah, right.
And so for me, I didn't like it. That burnt me. Bigger burn.
It does burn more than the first one, but I would say it gets me immediately. Like I burn immediately, and then as I finish, as the drink finishes, it gets smoother for me. So that one finishes a little smoother.
It didn't for me. I'm going to give that a 7 out of 10 because there's bigger burn. So this one overall got a 35 out of 40 for me. The first one got a 36 out of 40. I like it though. I've liked both of these gins. That's the other thing.
And we both do like gin. That's part of why I picked the gin in the first place, and I hope we enjoy this experience.
Yes.
Okay, I'm rinsing my glass. Got a few more things to get to, so I'm going to try to... Yeah.
You have more segments?
I got a few more segments.
People are getting disinterested.
I am noticing... if we try to be serious about this and do actual tasting, we are quiet a lot.
It's a boring episode.
Yeah.
No one really cares about our takes on gin. So let me do another Joey's joke.
Do a Joey's joke. Liven it up.
All right, Nick, what is the difference between a busty lobster and a filthy bus station? No, shit. I gave the joke away. Shit. What's the difference between a lobster with breast implants and a filthy bus station? One is a busty crustacean. The other is a crusty bus station. That's my wordplay joke, but I fucking gave it away in the intro.
That's okay.
Damn it. I blame it on the tendons. They're
stealing all of your sort of life power.
All tendons are connected directly to the brain. All right. This is
number
gin
3.
Number 3.
Number 3. Yeah, I need to change this.
Appearance.
What are you getting?
No piss.
Okay.
Clear.
A pissless gin.
Pissless. 10 out of 10.
Uncommon of the London traditional style. Traditionally, they would absolutely put 1 drop
per bottle.
King George's piss in. I don't know who King George is.
Deeply dehydrated, though? I don't know.
Right, so it's concentrated. Yeah.
Yeah, and
just one. William of Orange. Let's just say that was not a region. It was a color.
Let's say with some of the ibuprofen I've been taking and other pills, I've been Joey the Orange for a couple of days.
Okay.
Much to my chagrin.
We'll look on the Instagram for pictures. Oh, wow. The smell of that is very soothing compared to the other ones.
Yes, subtle. That's a 10 out of 10 for me. The palate/taste.
I like it. It's kind of dull, but I like it. It doesn't punch you right away. But
yeah, I would say nothing much. Which is
and then it finishes kind of burny.
I see. I don't get the burn. Maybe I'm getting
you don't
drunker.
At all?
The later gins are going to get the benefit of me being drunker.
True.
Almost no burn. So for my finish, that's a 10 out of 10.
Dull but enjoyable taste on my end.
Yeah, I'm going to go with an 8 out of 10 for taste. There's just not enough of it. There's nothing there. I'm going to go 7 out of 10. I want some flavor. I want some taste. So it's clear. The aroma is
this
subtle.
would be a good martini gin.
Yeah. This is still my leader. It's 37 out of 40 because it's 10 out of 10 for everything except the palate.
Wow.
Like the aroma was pleasant and subtle. The appearance is clear. The finish, absolutely no burn. But there's just not a lot going on with that one.
Okay.
And as far as a tonic, that's the worst tonic one.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's a good martini or Negroni type gin.
Yep. Okay. I don't have any other jokes.
It's time for a segment.
Okay, between gins 3 and 4, we're taking a break for a segment.
That's right. You are going to help me with some start-sit decisions in my fantasy football league this week.
Okay.
This will place us in time, unfortunately, and you will know we are not in 2025 yet. But
No, well, what if maybe this is fantasy? When is this dropping? Maybe it's fantasies of 2025 season.
You're my fantasy for 2025, Joe.
There she pours.
You make it sound like it was bad. Those guys are
great.
talented artists, Joey.
I feel bad that I knocked
should be
the laws.
The laws.
And it was their first draft. I think that the thing is they knew they were onto something, the structure of the song. It's just that they were singing about someone pouring gin.
Right. Because it was a meaningful experience to them at the time.
But then why did they change it to There She Goes? There she goes again.
Because the bartender quit.
Okay. So then that was more meaningful, and that's when the song really took off.
That's right. You have to make it more generic for people for the masses to get it. That's why only the diehards are going to love this episode.
Right.
Because it's very specific and bad.
Early laws when they were figuring it out, and they were sitting there, and she's still working there, and they said, there she pours. And then when she quit, they said, there she goes.
Yep.
Wow. It's quite the journey they went on. I will say their early stuff, beautiful voice.
Yes.
Beautiful voice.
Wow. Okay.
Sounds like you were going to say thank you.
No.
Why would you? Doesn't make any not something you'd be thankful for.
If you were in the semifinals of fantasy football.
Semifinals. Now, we just watched, we will give it away. We've watched Patrick Mahomes play on Saturday before Christmas.
That's right.
Today against the Texans. And then the Steelers and the Ravens played today. So that's what just happened.
That's right. I had none of those players on this team.
Okay.
So
you're starting fresh.
We'll just look at the flex position here. Would you start?
My foot's in a permanent flex position for the next few months.
That's right.
Until I rehab. So
they
I'm
can
an expert at this.
Heal the tendon.
That's right.
Would you start in your flex Kenneth Walker, coming off an injury, playing the Minnesota Vikings?
I have a bias
defense.
in my heart for those battling through injuries.
You're
Kenneth
an absolute
Walker, sorry,
warrior.
playing what defense?
Minnesota.
Okay.
Third-ranked defense against running backs.
Tough one.
DJ Moore, wide receiver for the Bears, playing the Detroit Lions. 25th in defense
You're
against
have to throw in
receivers. Or Brian Thomas, Jacksonville wide receiver, playing at Las Vegas Raiders, number 9 pass against or defense against receivers.
That's very funny. What you just listed, I'm in a different fantasy league with you, and I have all 3 of those players. And would do this as a flex decision all the time.
That's part of why I wanted to say it, because it was...
I'm
genuinely not sure what to do, and I was curious, what your take would be.
I was always leaning toward the running back all year. He got more work, Kenneth Walker.
Yep.
But I think they're working Charbonnet in more. And so then to me, it's between Brian Thomas and DJ Moore. I'd begrudgingly play DJ Moore because the Bears are going to have to throw. And yet Brian Thomas seems to, despite all odds, and Mac Jones excel. And him against the Raiders is juicy. I don't care they say the Raiders are the 9th best. It doesn't.
Right.
What it means is that teams are just blowing them out and not passing.
Not needing to pass.
The Jacksonville Jaguars. This is an atrocious game. The Jaguars-Raiders.
Bad game.
Bad
Max
game.
Crosby's out for the season as well. Best defensive end for the Raiders.
And I don't really like players in bad games.
I know.
It will not be high scoring as much as we might think it. I don't think it will. So I'd go DJ Moore.
Yeah. And you're sort of banking on the Bears not totally mailing it in for the rest of the season, even though they're totally done.
Caleb's not going to mail it in.
You don't think so?
He's a rookie and he wants to put up some
Pad
stats.
some stats.
Yeah. It's a tough one. I wouldn't blame you if you went all three of those players. To me, I don't like the players in bad games, so I'd rule out Brian Thomas. And then it's just how much do you believe in Kenneth Walker with the Charbonnet stealing some of the load?
I appreciate your take. I will steal your load.
Ew. So DJ Moore, you're going to start for me. You're crippled.
Well, Brian Thomas is who I currently have in there.
I think it's I just
The upside play.
Game,
The upside play is what I'm doing. Like
He
kind of a
probably has
roll of the dice.
he probably has a better chance at a touchdown than DJ Moore. I just worry so much about bad games.
It's a good take. The Bears are also sprinkling in DJ Moore more and more to the offense, which they should. He's a dynamic player. Okay, I've poured the fourth gin.
This one's kind of cloudy.
Cloudy with a chance of
Come on. Cloudy with a chance. I'm writing it down. Cloudy with a chance of
the chance of buzzball.
buzzball. Okay. We will have to accept that. So it's a little cloudy. That gives me a 9 out of 10. Docking at a point right out of the box.
Ooh,
the aroma.
okay.
Ginny.
Very ginny.
I got no problems with the aroma. Just like the first one. Ginny. 10 out of 10. Palate, taste, and finish.
It is
all in one gulp.
This has a little sweetness on it as well. And if you're listening at home, play along because you will have already seen what gins we had on this episode. You can guess which ones were, as we use the same adjectives for each one, you can guess which one we're drinking at each point.
Yeah, truly.
Drink along at home.
I hope you're drinking it all. I hope you bought 5 bottles of distinct gin.
I mean, genuinely, this would be a fun thing to do. Maybe not for a podcast, as we're seeing now, but to do at a party or something. Just be like, which of these do you like the best? If you know people like a certain spirit, just pour a bunch of them and be like, blind taste us. Which one do you actually like?
I've always threatened a party for that, and not just alcohol. I was going to do a party that had different ketchups. A party that had different, like popcorn varieties, like Act 2 versus Redenbacher's. It was going to be like taste testing parties, and then I never did it. But I think if you're out there, you should do that and put on the original Law's recording.
I think they have some other ones in the archive that are comparable to that one. I can send you the files. I can send you. I don't have them handy.
You can't play them. Okay,
I'll have to torrent those and get them to you at a later date. Were you at the pumpkin beer tasting party years ago at Eric's and Ryan's old townhouse? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Halloween, everyone got to vote on the best pumpkin beer.
Yes.
That was fun.
We did Elysian Night Owl and everything. Yeah, it was a blast. And we just stopped doing that. I encourage more people to do it, including us.
Compare, contrast. We live in a society of constant innovation and failure. And we have to try everyone along the way.
We need to go back to the scientific method. Trial, error, whatever the scientific method is. Trying all the gins and then seeing which one you like. This one I thought was my favorite of the 4. 39 out of 40. And I also
liked it a lot. I liked it a lot.
I think it's one of the... I think this is the best tonic, or right there with the first one.
Hell
as far as tonic.
All right, number 5, Joe.
Accompaniment.
Number 5.
Our wash bin's getting low.
Well, we should have... This will be perfect. That's almost like a perfect pour by your boy. After getting absolutely mocked, torn, quartered, drawn and quartered at the beginning of this whole thing.
Yeah, I put you in a pulley system. I drawed and quartered you.
Joey has, with the doctor's recommendation, has been up in a pulley system this whole time.
I have been.
It's like a cross between getting stuck in a Bowflex machine, and being like Baron Harkonnen from the Dune movies. You're sort of in that, like an in-between there.
Totally relatable. We've seen Dune movies, and all of us have been stuck in a Bowflex machine before.
Okay.
And I would add a third one, being in an Iron Maiden. It's kind of the 3 of those together.
That was an add-on that you asked for, though. That wasn't, like, necessary.
HSA covered it. Doc said it was fine. So then I had that going for me. Okay, Gin 5.
Ooh, that's a nice smell.
Clearest gin yet. Absolutely no piss drops. 10 out of 10. Give me the aroma.
Okay.
Kind of extra pine harsh.
Extra pine harsh.
I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10 aroma. I think this one's Hendrix. I don't know. I'm never going to fucking know.
Yeah, it's like spicy, right? It's
7 out of 10. And the finish is small burn, 8 out of 10. I didn't really like this one. So I don't think it's Hendrix.
for the listener's sake as well. I know what all these are, but I have not had any of these before, for what it's worth.
This is a 33 out of 40. This is by far the lowest.
Okay. It is the most unique one of them all.
Yeah. I wasn't a huge fan.
And it's
This is
not
going to be
Hendrix.
like a super expensive, like fancy one that I'm going to get absolutely drawn and corded in a pulley system by Jay. But I didn't like it. It's really harsh. It tastes like cheap gin. Ew-wee is what I say to that. Okay, my winner with 39 out of 40. Gin 4 is my number 1.
Okay.
Gin 3 was my number 2. Gin 1 was my number 3. Gin 2, number 4. And Gin 5 was my number 5.
Okay, awesome. I will run through these. And which one was your favorite gin and tonic candidate?
Also, it's
Gin
a tie
4?
between Gin 1 and Gin 4, but I'd give a slight edge to Gin 4.
Okay, you
So
get
both my favorite,
two
and I think my
G&Ts.
favorite was G&T. Wow. But it was cloudy with a chance of buzzballs.
Okay, I'll read them in reverse order from your rankings. So number 5 was Beefeater 24.
Really? I'm going to write these down.
You can write them down. I'll read a little bit about what they wrote. So they said a spicy, unctuous gin. Not for entry-level gin drinkers. This one hits with intensity and heat and has an almost oily finish.
Yeah. I must be an entry-level gin drinker because I thought that was a little too intense. A little bit of piss. No, there was no piss. It's very clean.
But you're right that
Pleasant to
it's
look
the
at.
most like punch of flavor, and
For
if
sure.
you don't like it, then it's not what you want to go for.
My next
your number
worst was gin number 2. Second from the bottom
2.
for me.
Okay,
Clear, no piss, extra
that was
piney.
Broker's London Dry Gin, which they named their best all-around gin, an assertive yet balanced gin that's shown in dry martinis, gin and tonics, and Negronis.
I liked it. It's a tier
Right,
above.
you didn't like it. Yeah, you didn't dislike any of these other 4.
I disliked the 5th one. I liked Brokers. I did not like Beefeater 24. Wow. Genuine dry gin, distilled in England with premium botanicals. Yeah, Brokers is good. Like it had the worst burn, the worst finish of all 5 of them. I thought Brokers had the worst.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, what was your number 3?
Number 3 was gin number 1.
First one. Now, this is a sort of a surprise entry, in my opinion. It was Seagram's Extra Dry Gin.
So this is cheap shit.
That was $8 at Total Wine.
Well, I did say that this one had a decently clean. I gave it a 9 out of 10 in palate. I gave it an 8 out of 10 with a small burn. And it did have a drop of urine in it. And it does have a drop of urine in it.
And yeah, they have it on here. This is the only one that's not a London Dry Gin. It's flavored after it's been distilled. But they said it's an easy drinking gin, which I would agree with.
Who's they here?
This is the Wirecutter
Laws?
thing. The Laws, yeah. The Laws they're quoted throughout this article.
Okay. This is Wirecutter. Okay, got it. All right. So Seagram's, that's very interesting. My second favorite, the runner-up, was gin number 3.
That's right. Gin number 3 is Plymouth Gin.
Plymouth Gin. Okay, I've heard of it. I don't even know if I've had.
I think, I maybe had it at a bar in a martini or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Plymouth Gin, original strength.
This one was a pissless gin. A nice subtle aroma, no burn at all, very smooth. And the only reason I docked it to give it my second favorite is just because it was almost too smooth. There wasn't a lot going on.
Sure,
It didn't
yeah.
have any flavor.
A little dull, yeah.
So honestly, maybe I'm knocking this. Like, if you're a tonic head, if you're tipsy for tonic, if you think tonic is terrific, then you might like this because gin won't get in the way. It'll be very tonic forward. But I like the way that gin and the tonic, the way they dance, the way they come together, the way they put on a show for me, darling. You know,
Like the Laws would.
like the Laws in their
at a
original
punk
recordings
rock bar.
when they sang about how she poured.
That's right.
The thin?
It's a Plymouth gin.
The gin made their blood thin.
Famously, alcohol makes your blood thin.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what my favorite
I
gin
don't
was.
see what
Gin
the problem
number 4.
is. Your favorite gin was Beefeater gin.
Yeah, I can see that.
Classic.
Yeah.
Hello, Cold Cans Nation. It's with great regret that I come to you with a statement from our lawyers. And by continuing to listen to this, you hereby release Cold Cans LLC, Joey Glock LLC, and Nick Patry LLC from any litigation. There's been a mistake. Due to numbers and amounts of gin, Nick messed up the revelation of the blind taste test. And it turns out, in a twist, that Joey's favorite gin was actually Plymouth gin, while Beefeater was his second favorite. We hope you can forgive us. Please forgive us.
Interesting. If a gin and tonic place like doesn't have Hendrix for some reason, Beefeater is the next one I pick.
Hell yeah.
And so I do like this. It was
Those
cloudy.
are very different gins, though.
I know, but I just like accept that I'm not getting a Hendrix and tonic with a cucumber.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a Beefeater with whatever I don't care what accoutrement they put in it. It's a different drink.
Perhaps a lime.
Yeah. Okay, I see what's happening.
Now we have a sixth drink entering the Cold Cans verse here. I'm going to make you gin and tonic, and then we're going to have this in addition to it. I have for you
Oh, God.
the lime-flavored Whipshots.
Okay.
For the third episode in a row.
Back here. Let me get a picture of you holding the Whipshots.
Get a picture.
With all the gins.
I'm going to be very serious.
And let me get right in there. That's a good pick. Okay, so we have lime-flavored Whipshots. And now, you're going to be asking me to do this.
I need you to be the Whipshot man.
Okay.
I need you to release.
I will slap it. I will shake it.
I have
and
the
then I'll
instructions.
release
I have
it.
Cardi B's instructions there. I'm going to go get some ice.
Cardi's instructions are in front of me.
And the tonic.
Okay, so Nick has exited the scene, but with his wireless microphone. Nick, can you take folks through it? Sort
I
of
am
boots on the
fully
ground.
in. I'm going in the ice drawer. This is going to be quite loud, but for your audio files out here, you might feel a little shiver down your spine.
Yes. Down your spine and up something else. Let me get just excellent pictures of these gins. Funny that Beefeater was my favorite and Beefeater 24 was my least favorite. That's kind of...
That makes you think.
I can't
Do you think
understand
there's
anything.
You know, there's ASMR.
Yeah.
Do you think there's ASSMR where it's kind of like toot noises and stuff? Is that funny?
It's pretty funny, ASSMR. Yeah, I can't say that it's not funny.
Okay.
What do you think about
I'll
this
take
sound?
that.
Now, I felt the drop shot drop.
Yes.
I felt it drop. Do I take it first? Do I take one right now?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to take a whip shot and report back on lime vodka infused whip shots.
And this is going to accompany our gin and tonic.
Oh, that's good.
Is it?
Yeah, it's good. It's margarita-y.
That makes sense.
If you put some Pop Rocks in your mouth, I'm not fucking joking here, Nick.
Please don't.
If you put some, here he goes. Oh, that's a whip it. If you put some Pop Rocks in your mouth, and then you put that in there, you'd have a margarita sensation on your hands. And there's nothing you could do about it.
Why Pop Rocks?
To give you, I don't know. I just think it would be good. Sometimes when a genius is at work,
Sure, I won't question
you
it.
don't question. You just trust the intuition.
I won't do what you did to the law's undeniably genius work.
I loved it, and I'm
not sure you did.
applauded. I loved it and applauded your research that the New York Times did. But
Urethras.
No.
Urethra, sorry.
No, I didn't say that. That the research you did to find the article where other people did research to find the original recording of the Laws. There she pours.
Oh, okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
We're doing a
I thought it was
gin tea
excellent.
with Beefeater.
Excellent.
It's just incredibly smooth,
Clean.
and refreshing.
So clean. My hunch that this would be the best one with tonic, I think was right. And then, honestly, having a little bit of that lime whippet flavor on my tongue.
I know. I agree that was like in the back of my throat still, and I'm like, oh, okay.
It's pretty good.
Little whisper of lime back there.
Now, if you had some Pop Rocks with it,
I don't get where the Pop Rocks is coming from at all.
it's going to be good. Just try it.
Now we got
Whoa.
one final segment.
There's
Joe.
so many segments on this episode. We've had Cardi B. We've made a tonic. We've blind taste tested gins. And now what do we have in our hand? Also, we unearthed the original recording from the Laws. I think it was a treat, Nick. Honestly, the biggest worry I have with it is just whether I'm able to find any recordings.
I've got a treat for you. You don't have to do recordings. I brought a little holiday delight, brandy beans. I buy these at George's Deli.
Yes.
The Polish, I think? Yeah, Polish deli on Capitol Hill
Now
here in
explain
Seattle.
brandy beans to me. And the
Brandy
listener,
beans
simply.
are a chocolate typically filled with brandy, the drink, the distilled wine drink.
So it's like liquid in there, like a dumpling?
It's going to be liquid in there. Now, I have a little information on the history of brandy beans.
Share it then.
Here's what I said in my
Share
notes.
it right
This is
now.
not a parable or terrible, but it's eminently shareable. The history of brandy beans can be traced back to 1924 when Hugo Osbach, the head of the Osbach distillery, began
The
covering... Yes, exactly. Colin Farrell himself began covering brandy with bittersweet chocolate to appeal to new customers because during the Golden 20s, drinking alcohol in public was not acceptable for women. So Osbach created brandy beans to appeal to a new set of customers.
So it's sort of a discreet way to get drunk.
That's right. Discreet and sexy.
You've been looking for, in fact, minutes before we started recording, you were talking again about powdered alcohol. You've been looking for discreet alcohol options for as long as I've known you. You know?
And what I said to you was, we have been promised powdered alcohol for quite some time, and it's never shown up.
I don't know who's promised it. There hasn't been a politician on the trail talking about powdered alcohol.
What was the? Oh yeah, it promised you a story about my Total Wine experience buying these gins.
Okay.
So I'd stopped by. Joey's grabbing a brandy bean.
Can I take the brandy bean?
Please do. Please do.
No, I can't bite this in half, right? It'll pour everywhere.
I think right. You probably want to pop the whole thing in your mouth.
All right, here we go.
And it goes. They look like little bananas almost.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, it's very good. I'm glad you like it. I was in the Buzzballs aisle looking,
Of course you are.
of course, and I was looking at the different flavors that are, compared to the ones we did on the last episode. There's like horchata, cranberry chiller, mango chiller, all this type of shit.
Right.
And then there was one little section that said eggnog chillers, but it was empty. But I looked back, I peered back there into the darkness of the back of the shelf, and I was like, I think
really
I
where-
see something
And
back
that's where
there.
you'll find yourself when you're peering into the
I
darkness
was
of a
hoping
Total
so.
Wine shelf.
So I reach back there, full arm length in there, and I grab one out, and I pull it out, and it is I think, discontinued flavor that had been back there for quite some time because there was a spot of mold on the inside of the Buzzball, and it was like pineapple mango or something.
Oh
chiller,
my God.
or passion fruit. I think it was passion fruit.
It was moldy?
Yes, I think it had been forgotten there by the Tequila Total Wine folks for quite some time.
Nasty. Did you look around then and realize you were wearing a fedora and everything was in black and white?
Yeah,
Everybody
and
was
then
really
I drank it and
well-dressed.
sued them
Yeah.
as well.
Yes. Wow.
That's how I became Ronald Reagan.
yes. That's so close to Reagan's story and how he became president.
All right, I'm gonna have a brandy bean.
Willow, you can't have any
No brandy beans for the dog.
Let's get a picture of Willow begging for a brandy bean.
Do you want a brandy bean?
A funny picture. All right. We have some good picks.
We did it again. We got great picks. We had great content. We had the songs. We had dance. We had
I will
love.
say, I love how much work you put in the blind tasting, all that kind of stuff, the whip it, the rotten stuff you found in Total Wine. But I think my
Oh,
favorite
that brandy bean is good.
brandy beans, I love those. I think my favorite thing was the song that you found. Now I know you didn't do much there because you simply read an article, but I think I appreciate that.
It's just
the
a
most.
link, a simple link.
Yeah. Do you think we could hear it again on the way out? Because I really enjoyed it.
Oh, okay. Because I thought you were kind of criticizing it the entire episode.
Well, I'm just saying, as a professional band, to miss the mark lyrically that much on their first go before they hit
they had the tune before they had the right lyrics.
That's right.
They're just trying to fill them all.
But that's what, like, I didn't appreciate, like, the real ones, real fans, the process. And now that I've seen the process, much like sort of the process of going through 5 different gins to scientifically find the best one on the market, that music took me on a journey as well. And
yeah. And they're both beautiful in their own way.
And I just hope it's not a precedent that has to be followed because it's hard for me to do that kind of research. But we'll see. Just out of curiosity, completely apropos of nothing and unrelated to this, what would you use to record your voice singing?
You can use anything. You can use the microphone that's around your little neck right now.
And then you'd find, like, let's say you wanted to record over, I don't know, like a pop song from long ago. Would you just find the instrumentals for it?
You simply go to youtube.com and you search the song title and you say karaoke version.
That's it. That's what I was looking for.
If I were to give that advice,
I don't know why.
I don't know why
that's
that's right. I don't know why that's relevant here at all.
I shouldn't have, but it's good to know that. Interesting. Okay.
That's
Okay.
go check out the Laws. They got a great back catalog, including the one that you can find on archive.org.
There she pours.
There she pours.
Oh,
got a little
jumped
doggo
in your
by
arms.
me. She said, "I want to hear There She Pours."
Well, let's play it on the way out. And if you're out there and you're thinking about the different types of gins, whether you're making a gin and tonic, my advice is to buy 5 full bottles of it and try all of them.
Go spend $250 at Total Wine, and you will not regret it.
And put your arm through some sort of time portal and pull out a rotten buzzball out of the back. No, but if you don't want to try all 5 bottles of gin and come home with a strong look from your significant other because you've brought 5 bottles of gin home from Total Wine, and you have to pick just one, I would say my recommendation is to go with Beefeater London Dry. Beefeater Raw, not Beefeater 24.
That's right.
Is that
Thanks for going through the journey with me, Joe.
Yeah. What was your favorite?
I wasn't keeping track of which one I liked the most, honestly. I really liked Beefeater and Plymouth, I think. Mm-hmm. But the Seagrams was a surprise. A surprise
and a delight?
Like bang for your buck.
Oh.
This dog wants a brandy bean in the worst way. Hi.
That dog is going to get plenty of chocolate tonight and a brandy bean. 15-pound dog. Can we hear it one more time on the way out?
We're simply done. Yep, we're going to hear it one more time.
Into 2025.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot in days of their some gin pour, yeah.
Whipshots.
I opened the envelope, and it said, Emma Stone, La La Land. That's why I took such a long look at Faye and at you. I wasn't trying to be funny.